here that critical decisions are taken to shape the priorities, the posture, and the performance of our regional mechanism in line with the vision of the African peace and security architecture. In the face of a rapidly evolving security landscape, our region continues to confront complex and interconnected challenges, including terrorism, armed conflict, maritime insecurity, transnational crime, and climate-induced threats. These realities call for a robust, well-coordinated, and fully capacitated Eastern Africa Standby Force. Therefore, the presence of this esteemed gathering of ministers, ambassadors, our chiefs of defense staff, and other partners in security sector is a testament to our shared commitment to peace, security, stability in the Eastern African region and beyond. Excellencies, as we meet here in Mogadishu, we are reminded that regional solidarity is not an abstract concept. It is a living principle demonstrated by our presence today and by the shared commitment of our member states to peace, stability, and collective security. East Africa Standby Force has an opportunity to assess the progress we have made in strengthening the readiness of our multidimensional force, to refine our strategic direction, and to deliberate on critical matters, including our upcoming exercises, force generation, training, and partnerships. Therefore, your deliberation and discussion and decisions during this meeting will shape the trajectory of the ESF years to come. We look forward to your guidance on how further to deepen member states' ownership, mobilization of sustainable resources, and with the African Union, the regional economic communities, and international partners. Excellencies, during the 32nd and the 33rd Policy Organs meeting held in 2024, the Council of Ministers approved the review of the on establishment of ESF, the policy framework, the memorandum of understanding on the pledged forces, and humanitarian and disaster support capabilities. These amendments will be implemented only on endorsement by the Assembly of Heads of State and Government. Accordingly, the Eastern African Standby Force proposes to conduct a summit on the sideline of the African Union Assembly in February 2026. Therefore, the Secretariat humbly requests the guidance from the Council in order to better handle and coordinate the preparation with the African Union, that requests that we do this by not later than October, so that they can allocate a space for us to conduct this sideline meeting in Addis Ababa. Excellencies, of course, this will ensure we achieve the aspiration of a capability of choice for peace, security, and integration in the Eastern African region. Excellencies, in my conclusion, allow me once again to thank the government of the Federal Republic of Somalia for hosting this important meeting, and to express our deepest gratitude to all member states for their unwavering support to the vision and mission of the Eastern African Standby Force. Let us let us use this moment not only to reflect on our shared journey, but also to re-energize our resolve to build a stronger, more united, and more effective, most sincerely.
The guest of honor, sir, kindly permit me to invite the chairperson of the Friends of Eastern Africa Standby Force to give his remarks. The chairperson, sir.
Dear guest of honor, Your Republic of Somalia, in the ESF member states, chiefs of defense staff, senior management staff, friends and colleagues. All protocols observed. Good morning, bonjour, sabah al-khair, subah swanaksan. My name is Kenneth Albrecht. I'm a senior advisor with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark, seconded to the Eastern Africa Standby Forces as the coordinator of the International Advisory and Coordination Staff there, and as an advisor on peace and security and stabilization to the director and his leadership team. I stand before you today in a dual capacity. One, as my primary advisory capacities, that is those friends of EASF who are permanently embedded advisors and financing to Eastern Africa Standby Forces, but also as a representative for the chairman of the Friends of EASF, Colonel Lassesen. The chairman of the group of Friends of ESF sends his sincere regrets for not being able to join you here, particularly in such an important year as 2025, with the 20-year anniversary of the African Standby Force regional mechanism, Eastern Africa Standby Forces, as well as a defining moment for one of the ESF member states, the Federal Republic of Somalia, in hosting the ordinary policy organs meetings. I congratulate both Eastern Africa Standby Forces and the Federal Republic of Somalia with these very important milestones. The chair of the Friends of ESF has therefore asked me to share with you a few messages on his behalf. On behalf of the entire group of countries constituting the Friends of EASF, he would like to extend his sincere thanks and gratitude for the kind invitation to attend the Eastern Africa Standby Force Ministerial Policy Organs Council meeting in Mogadishu, Somalia, and the Friends of EASF appreciate being continuously invited to these high-level meetings. This year, 2025, marks the celebration of the 20th anniversary of the Eastern Africa Regional Mechanism for Peace and Security. It is a very notable year for EASF, but also for the continent as a whole, as a stock-taking exercise currently is underway within the African Union to reappraise the African Standby Force system, the EASF, and indeed the whole of the African Peace and Security Architecture, the APSA, with its constituent peace and security elements. Obviously, Eastern Africa Standby Forces is and will be influenced by the findings of this continental reappraisal, and it is indeed involved in the fine-tuning of the ASF mechanism so as to continuously live up to its readiness levels for the maintenance of peace and security and stability, but also ensure appropriate measures for overall conflict prevention, management and resolution within the APSA structure. Such readiness levels and measures and the ability to uphold operational and technical capacity within them calls for hard work and skilled and talented people and staff in Eastern Africa Standby Forces. And in addition, it calls for strong leadership. And I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the chairman of the Friends of ESF to again thank Brigadier Retired Paul Njema for his directorship of Eastern Africa Standby Forces. The outgoing chairman of the Friends of Eastern Africa Standby Forces, Colonel Jens Lindvig, as well as the newly appointed incoming chairman, Colonel Lasse Sand, and the director has already met on a number of occasions, and the Friends of ESF highly appreciate the openness, the cooperative approach, and the strong leadership that the director has demonstrated. The continued commitment by the ESF member states to the regional mechanism and advocacy of its value in regional peace and security challenges is of a very high importance. The ability of Eastern Africa Standby Forces to truly become self-sustaining depends on the willingness by member states to continually provide adequate resources, both in terms of material and logistics, in the provision of personnel with required expertise, as well as predictable financial contributions. And in addition, a very strong resolve and advocacy of the regional mechanism. The Friends also congratulate Eastern Africa Standby Forces on the work done on the ESF Strategic Plan 2026-30, as well as the Activity Plan for 2025, which constituted the last originating within the ESF Strategic Plan of 2021-25. These are ambitious documents and underpins a revised vision for the years to come. We are also in particular looking forward for the planning and execution of the Maritime Command Post exercise in 2025, a first by any ASF regional peace and security organization. The Maritime Command Post exercise 2025, Salam Bahari, to be conducted in Djibouti, within the policy framework for the establishment of the ASF from May 2003, and within the 6 scenarios, notably Scenario 5, as well as the 2002 emphasis on humanitarian and natural disaster support, will constitute an excellent opportunity for ESF to demonstrate its level of readiness for large-scale, multidimensional, and integrated mission deployment and the execution in a regional setting, and notably with a maritime emphasis. The Friends are also looking very much forward to the result of the ongoing work on analysis and optimizing the ESF organization and structure. This work is highly important to ensure that forms follows function and that ESF remain fit and ready to deliver Your Excellency's political ambition in an ever-changing regional security environment. By ensuring that ESF structures are regularly reviewed, the organization will remain ready to meet contemporary challenges to peace and security across the African continent. The Friends stand ready to support Eastern Africa Standby Forces in this endeavor, and let me take this opportunity to reiterate the full support of the Friends of ESF in your continuous work in achieving this ambition. One meeting between the ESF and the Friends has so far taken place in 2025, ensuring exchange of information between the Eastern Africa Standby Force and the Defense Attaché community in Nairobi. However, we are looking forward to continuing these meetings as well as meetings with the Friends at ambassadorial level. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Chair of the Friends of ESF conclude his remarks by wishing you all fruitful deliberations during the Council meeting today and by thanking the Federal Republic of Somalia for being a great host and for the first time letting us visit this beautiful country. And for that, the Chair of ESF thanks you. Now, those were the words of the Chairman of the ESF. With those shared, I will add briefly a few points from my personal capacity. That as the coordinating officer for the international advisors embedded with ESF. And this includes advisors directly administrating funds from Denmark, Norway, and providing contact to Finland, Austria, and other. What the Chair has stated is correct. He and I, as well as my senior in ESF, have been constantly and pleasantly surprised by the energy and drive in the ESF current leadership and the high number of activities that have been delivered. The ESF has developed truly multinational operating standards, creating a common operational language and ready standards for civilian, military, and police staff from 10 different member states. Something the rest of the African Union still struggles with, and where the Eastern Africa Standby Forces models of planning and capacity to address transnational threats, not just militarily, but in aspects of policing, protection, civilian fields of governance and development support, including management and support for the delivery of humanitarian assistance, could easily be shared as an example across the continent. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as the senior advisor embedded with Eastern Africa Standby Forces, let me make a very clear statement to you. The instrument that you have been funding, developing, and building since the full operational capability was reached in 2014 is and remains ready. It is ready for use if you want it. And it has a large comparative strength to the 4 other African standby forces by being truly multidimensional and integrated, and to a backbone of mission planning and development at the African Union. I encourage you in the coming period of African Standby Force reappraisal to remember this, and perhaps through advocacy to let the positive strength of ESF now serve as an example for all of the African Union. You have built a strong and capable from years of investment. Now the time may be right to call for a return on this investment, to make use of it when relevant, being mindful that the biggest comparative advantage of the ESF is its ability to manage multinational civilian and police stabilization efforts alongside military security operations. I will close this address repeating to a certain degree the words of the Chairman of the Friends of ESF. Thank you for always extending this hand of friendship by inviting the friends and partners to the policy organs meeting and to allow us to address you here. Thank you to the Eastern Africa Standby Force colleagues and for always working in the spirit of partnership. And thank you to the Federal Republic of Somalia for hosting us in Mogadishu. I'm very much looking forward to our continued cooperation. Thank you.
the guest of honor of Defense and Security, sir, may I kindly invite you to give your opening remarks. The guest of
له taliyaasha ciidamada difaaca wadamada difaaca dooda xubnaha sharafta leh ee xooghay ciidanka heeganka bariga Afrika marti sharafta kale subax wanaagsan anigoo ku hadlaya magaca dowladda federaalka Soomaaliya inaan idinku soo dhaweyno dhammaantiin magaalada Muqdisho caasimadda Jamhuuriyadda Federaalka Soomaaliya anigoo ku faraxsan maalmihii la soo dhaafay ee kala duwanaa technical teamkii iyo taliyaasha shirkii taliyaasha in uu si fiican ku socday waqti fiican la soo qaatay aad ayaan ugu mahadcelinayaa ka soo qaybgalkiina shirkan oo safaro dhaadheer u soo maray say halkan u soo gaaraan dhammaantiin waad mahadsantiin qiimo weyn ayaynu ugu fadhidaa shirkan inuu ka dhaco iyo garab istaagga Soomaaliya ana way muujinaysaa waxaan idinka raali gelinaynaa wixii gaabis ee ka dhacay dhankeenna sidii joogitaankiinu u noqon lahaa mid xiiso iyo farxad leh ee sanadka 2025 dowlad ahaan dowladda federaalka Soomaaliya in caasimadda Soomaaliya ee ciidanka heeganka bariga Afrika oo gobolku wajahayo caqabado badan iyo khataro waana mid ka mid ah ujeedooyinkii loo organkan waxaa lama huraan ka hortagga colaadaha xallinta khilaafaadka iyo isagoo dadaaladaas isagoo ku shaqeynaya waxaan ku kalsoonahay in xeeldheerayaasha sharafta leh ee halkan isugu yimid ay diyaariyeen qorshayaal istiraatiiji waxay ahayd shirarkii ka horeeyay ee East African Standby Force ay galayeen waxay gobolka ugu fadhiyeen qiimo badan waxaadna moodaa gobolkan oo shirkiisa halkan aan u fadhino inuu ka duwan yahay gobolada kale ee Afrika musiibooyinka dabiiciga colaadaha ka dhaxeeya dowladaha dhexdooda qaar inuu si gaar ah uga duwan yahay gobolada kale ee Afrika taasi waxay nasaar oo ah inaan u duubanno in dalalka gudahooda sidii loo xallin karo loo xalliyo annagoo ka mahadcelinaynaa ciidamada Afrikaanka ee ATMIS ama AMISOM ama AUSOM hadda 2007 ayaan ugu fadhiyaa General Mugisha maanta isaga matalaya ku xigay Burundi oo runtii iyaguna naf badan huray halkan yimid kadibna dowladuhu kulligood way ka mid yihiin iyo intaas ay u badan yihiin inay qayb ka ahaayeen xasiloonida hadda Soomaaliya iyo degmaduba ay qayb ka ahaayeen. Africa markay isku gurmato runtii guulo badan ayuu xaqiijiyay inkastoo hadda caqabada waajahayo xagga fundinka ah. Mida wiilasheedii iyo gabdhaheedii qaaliga ahaa ku bixin ma jirto oo dowladda marka waan ka mahadcelinaynaa qiimo weyn ayayna inoogu fadhidaa. Waxaan rabnaa arrintaas in la sii adkeeyo oo ay keento kalsooni ay wadamadan isugu guro arrintaas maaragtay in laga ilaaliyo. Waxaan sidoo kale jecelahay inaan u mahadceliyo saaxiibada ciidamada heeganka bariga Afrika oo iyo taageerada joogtada ah ay la garab taagan yihiin East Africa Standby Force. Saaxiibadaas waa ku mahadsantihiin kuwaas oo dadaalkooda joogtada ah uu fududeeyay xiriirka ka dhaxeeya xoghaynta iyo beesha caalamka. Taageeradiina aan kala go'al lahayn waxaan isku xiran oo meeshii wax ka jiro haddaan la xallin adduunka nabadda ah. Sidoo kale waxaan u mahadcelinayaa xoghaynta ciidanka heeganka bariga Afrika oo runtii iyagoo kaalin mug leh ka qaatay isku dubaridka ka qaybgalka wasiirada difaaca. Waxaan garowsanahay hawsha baaxadda leh ee la qabtay. Waxaan bogaadinaynaa qaadka howlwadeennada xoghaynta ciidanka heeganka bariga Afrika iyo wasaaradda gaashaandhigga oo iskaashanaya. Howlaha muhiimka ah waxaan idiin rajaynayaa kulan miro dhal ah oo wax ku ool ah. Ugu dambeynna annaga qiimo gaar oo nagu fadhiyaa haddii wax kalena runtii waxaan rabnaa inaan magaalada laydinku soo wareejiyo shirku markuu dhammaado ama biri laga yaabo inay joogto inaan program idiin samayno oo aad u qurux badana inaan idin geyno. Waxaan ku yihiin martigelinta waliba markay martidu u timaado inaad geelaasna nala cuni doontaan intiina biri joogta. Ugu dambeyntii inaan idinkaga mahadceliyo mar labaad iyo mar kale oo horey looga ambaqaado howlihii hore u socday. aad iyo aad baa u mahadsantihiin.
As we conclude the first program of the day, let me take this opportunity to invite you for a group photo. So after the group photo, we will break for a coffee or tea, and when we return, the bureau will be constituted, followed by the confirmation of the agenda and program of work. The guest of honor, sir, may I kindly request the public information officer to guide us for the group photo. I thank you.